Hey guys, it's Landon Mccarter with Secure Agent Marketing, obviously business partners with Cody. You've probably heard quite a bit about Secure Agent Marketing over the last couple of weeks. We've been absolutely killing it. It's been so much fun. I really love this industry. And one of the things that I wanted to kind of just talk about today is going to be with a metric that we call buyer intent. Okay, so buyer intent is really an important metric that if you're not in the marketing world, you don't typically hear very often. But buyer intent is a very important metric that we use in the marketing world because it sort of measures and communicates the actual intent of the prospect that you're getting in the form of a lead. So we talk about leads all the time in the insurance world. That's the lifeblood of our business. We got to get in front of people to sell them. We got to sell, X amount of people to make the kind of income that we want. Well, there is a difference between person A and person B. Not all leads are created equal. And the way that you can separate your actual lead value is with a metric called buyer intent, okay? So what I mean is there's a difference between someone going to Google and saying, I need long-term care insurance, as opposed to someone that fits our demographic that we're showing a message to and a video to, and we're showing them an actual ad to hope that they respond to that call to action. They may not be ready to buy right away. They may just be poking around and tire kicking, and that's okay. Like, those leads aren't bad as well, because if you do a good job with your marketing, you'll do drip marketing, you'll kind of keep them in your marketing funnel, and you'll be able to sell them later. But there's a difference in buyer intent, right? So we like to measure buyer intent. Here's your marketing funnel. So really, you've got your top of the funnel, which is really close to lead. Your bottom of your funnel, which is really close to your lead, right? And then you got your top funnel traffic, right? Well, a good thing to understand whenever you're looking at buyer intent is Google has really captured and owns the lowest close to point of conversion buyer intent that you can get, because these are individuals that are going to Google and looking for the exact keyword that we know that we want to be shown for, and Google's charging us whatever it is per click. So let's just say it's $10. Actually, I got a long-term care client going on right now that's $9.44 per click. Right? $9.44 per click. They're getting into our marketing funnel. Our conversion rate on this particular product is a 26% conversion rate. So therefore, our cost per acquisition is, I think we spent $176, got 5 leads. I think we spent about $36 per acquisition. But these are people that are Googling, the keyword that we want. So this $36 lead, right, has more buyer intent than our Facebook campaign. So I also have several, long-term care Facebook campaigns that we're running, right? Well, these Facebook top funnel traffic leads have a different buyer intent, right? So what I mean is these are individuals that fit our demographic. I think we're going to 41 states. They fit our geographic. They're responding to a message, and they're converting. Now, it's easier to get these conversions. These conversions, I think right now, are $9.72. $9.72 per lead. So, if I was to say, do you want $9.72 leads or $36 leads? What would you say? Well, I want $9.72 leads, of course. Well, you don't necessarily want that, because what if these leads close at 60%, right? And these leads close at 10%, right? Well, I'm willing to pay more for the higher buyer intent. Okay? So I want to make sure that you guys understand there's different products, there's different buyer intents between different products, there's different ways to tackle buyer intent. So moving on, in this particular example, okay, I feel like I've been as clear as I can be on this, all right? So what I want to try to do is explain, okay, well, how do you actually, besides just moving products, how do you actually target buyer intent specifically? Okay, well, we like to measure buyer intent on a 1 to 10 scale, okay? So you got 1 to 10, buyer intent, bam, 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 7, 8, 9. All right, so the different buyer intent per different product also has different ways that we can kind of tweak the knobs a little bit, even within Facebook, to add higher buyer intent on Facebook, right? Because we could also, for instance, let's just say we have this landing page, okay? We can drive Google traffic to it, Google traffic to try and get a conversion, but we can also target Facebook traffic as well. Facebook to go to the landing page as well, okay? So if these guys convert and become a lead, right, here's your lead, blah, 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 da, 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 da. Okay, here's your landing page. So, there's ways that we can use Facebook to drive website traffic to our landing page to get a lead, which would be a higher buyer intent Facebook lead, right? So that's how we kind of measure that. So another thing that we use buyer intent for is typically we find that call centers, or telesales, call centers / telesales, they kind of want more of a volume because they typically have more butts and seats making calls. Their time is not necessarily limited. They want as many leads as they can get. So we have some final expense leads that we're fueling call centers for, and we're sub $2 leads across the country with a lower buyer intent than what you would get if you were driving Google to a landing page. But that's exactly what the client needs, because that gives their callers enough leads in their pipeline to be calling enough individuals. And then also, they still can close. They're still closing these individuals. They're still opting in. They're still an opt-in lead. It's still a good lead. It's still a lead that's opt-in. It's not shared by other, vendors. It's not like a lead mill that's sold you John James, and John James has been talked to by 4 other final expense agents. It's not that low buyer intent. All right, so there's your 1, and there's your 10, right? So basically what you want to do as a marketer in the insurance business is you want to try and move that buyer intent up and down based on your what we call line of equilibrium. That line of equilibrium will give you enough leads in your pipeline to stay busy at enough quality to be able to close at the percentages you need to drive an ROI, right? So that is how it works, okay? So I want to just do a quick recap. The way that you can move your buyer intent up and down is by adding things and taking away things to the marketing funnel. So using Facebook and Google to drive website traffic to a landing page to get a lead is different than using Facebook and Google to drive website traffic to a landing page to get a lead and then ask them qualifying questions. Let's just say we have a Medicare client and we want to ask them a series of 10 questions qualifying that individual before we ever get the lead. So then we're using Google and Facebook to drive traffic, and instead of converting right away and having them download a lead magnet or something like that that's going to give us quick leads, what we do is we say, okay, you've applied to get your quotes or whatever, but now in order to get your quotes, I need you to answer this question, right? So we got question 1, and then we got question 2, and then we got question 3, and then we got question 4, and before you know it, you're asking 7 or 8 different qualifying questions. And if the customer went to Google and Google searched long-term care insurance, went to your landing page, watched your video, clicked your conversion button, answered the 10 questions, don't you think by the time that they get through that whole process that they have a probably higher buyer intent than someone that we found on Facebook, put in front of them an ad with a quick video that says, what's your favorite color, and fill out this lead form? Of course, okay? Now, obviously, the more steps is going to be more expensive, but there's a value, there's a give and take, okay? So each product has a different, buyer intent value that we feel like drives the ROI. So it's our job as marketers and experts to basically take your budget to then find that buyer intent, find that lead volume, and help you get where you need to go, right? So if all this sounds daunting and intimidating, it's because it kind of is, right? I got my degree in marketing from Missouri State, and I've been only doing marketing for the last 8 years of my professional career, and I'm still learning on what the heck to do because this stuff changes every 3 months, right? The way that we generate leads on Facebook today is completely different than how we generated 6 months ago, okay? So if I'm, this is my business full time, this is all I've ever done, and I got my degree in it, and I'm still learning and trying to pivot and adjust, I can't imagine how you guys as insurance agents would be able to keep up with the times and be able to do this. I talk to people all the time that are like, okay, I cracked the code, I got my $3 leads, but I can't get a hold of any of them. And I'll look at their campaign and I'm like, well, here's why. It's X, Y, Z. And they're like, well, that makes sense. Okay, just handle it. I'm sick of messing with this thing. Let me produce insurance, not be a marketer, right? So that's kind of the key, right? So this sounds intimidating. It's not that intimidating, all right? $1,500 a month of budget will be all you need to kind of get things moving, okay? Now, we can do obviously bigger campaigns, but we don't really want to do anything smaller than that from a marketing perspective, just because you got to have enough budget to get you throughout the month. So we'll spread this $1,500 over 4 weeks, all right? 500 of this, okay, is going to be management fee, and then 1,000 is going to be actual ad spend. Now, what that does is it provides us 2 things. It takes me and you and it lifts the curtain and it lets both of us know what we're actually paying Google and Facebook for these requests and leads, and it allows me to do what's best for you and actually do what you asked me to do, and then you can actually see the effect of the campaign as you're asking me to add more intent or take away or whatever. Let me give you a perfect example. We've got a final expense agent that we generate all his final expense leads for. In the last 2 weeks, he's closed $18,000 of commissions, right? He called me 2 days ago and said, hey, I want to limit the time in which my people are seeing the ad because I'm getting a lot of these leads that are coming at 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, and I want to try and limit my time on when I can show the ads. And I said, dude, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But okay, like we'll implement your request. So just by removing, I think it was like post 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., we saw their lead cost go up like 30 or 40%. Now I called him and I said, hey man, like your lead cost is increasing. Like, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, you know, I don't really feel like I'm getting that much better of a lead, quote unquote. Like, let's just revert back and let's just abort this whole pivot anyways, and let's just go back to what our original plan was. And I'm like, okay, great, that's fine. We reverted back, and now we're seeing the lead cost go back to where it was. So we were able to kind of help him, like, we were able to give him what he wanted and not say no, but yet show him, here is, you know, I kind of pushed back a little bit in the beginning, but he kind of insisted, so we let him do it. And then we saw the lead increase cost, and then he saw the lead increase cost. And then he said, oh, you know what, let's go back to where we were at before. And so here we are now where we were, which is fine. But the point is that all that did was help our relationship because there was transparency and collaboration, as opposed to, well, you know, I don't want to do that. With the real reason that I didn't want to do it is because it would increase my cost and decrease my margin. So I would come up with some sort of reason why I didn't feel like it was a great move for him to do that. There wouldn't be trust in him, and I would be kind of fluffing a little bit. But now it was like, hey, here's the move. You want to do it? That's great. Here's your move. Here's the impact. Now it's like we're all on the same team working together. So that's the relationship that you want from a marketing perspective, okay? So I hope you found this content relatively helpful. Buyer intent's a big topic. I think I'm going to cover it more. I feel like I say that every single time I cover a topic. I go through a 15, 10-minute, spiel on something, and I'm like, you know what, this is just the beginning. I don't know what I'm doing trying to, create this whole deal in 15 minutes. So we'll talk more, but I appreciate you guys' time so far, and I thank you for joining me on this live marketing show. We're gonna be doing these every Thursday from now on, so we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great afternoon, guys.